Hey bro, ¿qué onda Mateo? Tiempo sin saber de vos. Andrés, mano, pensé que te había perdido. ¿Todo bien o qué? Sí, todo bien, tranqui. Solo que entré a la U. Y el brete ya ni tiempo me queda para respirar. Te entiendo full, loco. A mí me pasa igual. Estoy cogiendo 5 clases este semestre y trabajando en un cafecito para sobrevivir. ¿5 clases? Estás loco. Yo con 4 ya ando quedando. La lucha es real, mi hermano. Pero ahí vamos, metiéndole con todo. ¿Y tu familia qué tal? Bien, gracias a Dios. Mi mamá siempre encima mío para que no afloje con la U. Mi hermano menor ya va a entrar al bachillerato, imagínate. Diablo, ¿cómo pasa el tiempo? A mi hermana, la menor, ya le dio con que quiere estudiar diseño gráfico. Ah, pues, qué bien. Ojalá le meta ganas. ¿Y vos? ¿Todavía pensás meterte a ingeniería o ya cambiaste? Nah, ya me quedo en administración. Al principio no me cuadraba, pero ahora como que le estoy cogiendo el gustillo. Eso es lo importante, bro, que uno le agarre cariño a lo que hace. Literal. Oye, deberíamos vernos un día de estos, aunque sea para echarnos un cafecito y hablar más, ¿eh? De una me avisas y cuadramos. No hay pierde. Hecho, hermano. Cuídate y no te desaparezcas otra vez. Igual vos. Un abrazo. Insane. There are a few things in this conversation that are said. This conversation is among people from the Caribbean, Central America, or South America. Not necessarily from Mexico, not necessarily from Spain. So, for example, in Mexico, we have a lot of words. They have a lot of words that they've taken that are regular words. They have double meanings, which means they have maybe a vulgar saying or a different meaning than what the original meaning is. And usually it's a funny or vulgar way of using the words, a misuse of the word. Okay, so one of the words in this conversation, the Puerto Ricans, Colombians, maybe even Salvadorians may be using, Cubans may use, is cogiendo. Cogiendo, cogiendo means to coger. Coger is to grab a hold of something and pick it up, or grab a hold of something, to take something. Coger. Um, you know, as adults in Mexico, they have the concept of coger, or using this verb as also to mean to have sex. And of course, it's the word itself is like the F word, so it's a bad word. So it has a bad connotation to it, just in case you run into some Mexican people. So how do people say it? Um, how do people say it in El Salvador or Mexico? Because in El Salvador, uh, it also sounds weird. So what we want to say, so we don't sound weird with our Mexican brothers and sisters and Salvadorians or Guatemalans, which is more like a north. They're more to the north of the hemisphere, and so the language changes a little bit. So the use of the words change. So we want to add re to the beginning of that and say recogiendo. Okay. Estaba recogiendo mi hermano. I was picking up my brother. Recogí mi ropa. I picked up my clothes. Recogí los libros. I picked up my books. Okay? So as you can see, Recogí, recogiendo, recoger is the word that we usually use in Mexico and El Salvador. Another neat, little thing. Uh, Side note: also the word for eggs. Egg is huevo. Huevo is also in Mexico misused as to mean testicles in a bad way as well. So, those are things. And the third thing that's very common to say in Mexico, uh, if you come up, like here we said bro, hey bro, you know. Um, in Mexico you would say hey way, okay, and way is an altered word for the word boy. Boy with a B is an ox. An ox is a bull, like a bull that is used to work in the fields for farming. And a bull usually has something attached to him, and it's an animal that has something attached, and we can attach something to till the ground so we can build a garden on the farm. So the bull is really just a very tamed animal that's really just so dumb. It's all day the bull just does work. And so the connotation of taking the word buey for bull or ox, buey, because I think it's an ox. I'm not sure there might be a difference between a bull and an ox, but is an animal with horns. Uh, Looks like a bull, but I think the bulls are, they're more angry. And we used to el toro. Toros are bulls, and we use them for fighting the bulls and the bull run in Spain and Mexico. But the bueyes are the ones that we use on the farm, and they took the word buey and made it into way. Once again, and so they distorted the word. And way is like, hey dummy, hey stupid. But when you got your homies, okay, like we say here in America, the black people here in America, hey dog, hey homie. Um, I don't know how you would say it in Canada. I'm sure there's a saying, hey bro. In Latinos like to use hey bro, even though bro is an English word, brother. It's short for brother. So anyway, so there's many ways. So actually, they use it for bad things and good things. Okay, don't be a way. No seas way. Okay, that's a bad thing. Don't be stupid, basically, or don't be a dumb and the bad word. So just so it makes it into a bad word, and then, but you can also say a way. Between Mexicans, they say that. Now, a good way to say, a lot of Mexicans here in northern Mexicans, they say hey primo. Primo is cousin. Hey primo, what's up, cuz? In English, what's up, cuz? Is they're using that a lot too. What's up, cuz? ¿Qué onda, primo? ¿Qué onda, primo? Okay. Central American, Caribbeans, South Americans may say hey bro. Uh, I've heard people say hey broya, hey broya, and they're trying to say brother, but so they're misspoken, but they're mispronouncing it. Hey broya. Another word here in the conversation that I saw that was used was a if I work in the cafe, voy a trabajar en un restaurante, voy a trabajar en una cafetería. Cafetería is the proper word. Also, the word for trabajar. Okay, in Mexico you want to say chambear. In El Salvador you want to say trabajar. Um, but here in this conversation, like I said, we use more like a Caribbean. So brete is I work, or there's a lot of work at the university. There's a lot of brete at the university. Okay, so and I work at a cafecito. Un cafecito is a cup of coffee, small cup of coffee. So um, cafeteria, un café. So those are interchangeable words. Notice the French word cafe, and what do they serve at the cafes? They serve basically donuts and coffee. So as you can see, it's all related, but depending on the country, you might switch out some words, and depending on the country, some words that are good Spanish words, solid, they may be twisted into something ugly and vulgar. And so there you have it. But this conversation here is between two guys, and it's talking about work, it's talking about school and family, and they're catching up. They haven't seen each other for a while, and they're talking about catching up some more later on, getting together. And it's two guys that are basically, let's say, maybe one from Colombia, one from Cuba, maybe something like that, or one from Puerto Rico, um, and one from Venezuela or something. So they're south of the border, south of the border, south of the border. Caribbean, Central America, South America, and the way that we speak. So the way some of your friends, Cuban or Colombian friends, would actually, those are the kind of words that they will use more often. So I'm gonna send you this link. I'll put this video on YouTube so you can watch it, and then I'm gonna send you the link to the conversation where it's written in English and Spanish. All right. Till next time.